Time for another conversation with the AD at all the Coastals, Daniel Head. Coach, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Robert. Happy New Year to you. Thanks for having me on again. And, we're excited about the 2025 version of the Coastal Alabama Coyotes.
Amen. A happy New Year to you as well. And by the way, I noticed, I'm sorry, I just can't not refer to you as coach every now and then. So, you're a longtime coach, now AD, but occasionally it slips on me.
Well, I have worked my way back. I'm now the third assistant for my son's T-ball team. Mainly, my job is to make sure I've got everybody in line in the dugout to come up to bat, and I keep the scorebooks on. So, I still got it in me. The 5, 6 year old. That's about what probably the level I needed to be coaching at. For years, I tricked some college kids for a while, but I've got down to the level that I'm probably more destined for now.
Well, I'm not sure if I agree with that, but congratulations on your new job, coaching wise.
Thank you.
By the way, all right, let's talk about basketball first because we're really coming into the most significant part of the season now. And though this might be played, later in the month, we are recording it the 1st of January. So let's talk about conference play where the Coyotes are concerned. Coastal South, Coastal North. Really, it looks like all of them are looking good coming out of non-conference to conference play.
Well, we really feel good about our basketball programs and our coaches that we have running those programs. They've done a great job this year and all season getting their teams ready to go. We have our Division One program in Bay Minette. The Division One conference season starts actually Thursday night. They begin conference play Thursday night, and we host Shelton State and women's and men's here in Bay Minette. So it'll be a good test coming out of the gate with Shelton State, who's been a perennial powerhouse in women and men's over the last decade or two, and so. But we're excited about the opportunity to go out and compete and start the conference season. And Coach Robertson and Coach Yelding have both played a really tough non-conference schedule to prepare their teams for the conference grind. And I feel strong about our programs and where they are. We got both teams are kind of in a rebuild and young, but they're junior college young doesn't mean anything because you got to get ready to play, and so they're ready, and we hope that that transfers onto the court and as we get going in conference.
I should have looked prior to coming on the air or doing this conversation with you. But I know since the renovation of Jack Robertson Arena, the losses have been few and far between, especially for the men's team. Have they even lost on their home floor?
Yeah, they've lost. They lost a couple games this year at home. They played some. They lost a tight game against Pensacola, and I think Pearl River right before Christmas. They had, it was a really good game, tight game, and but they've had a good season. We're really, Coach Robertson right now sitting at 8-4 in the non-con, and then Coach Taylor and they're 2-1 in conference in Division II in Monroeville. So they're sitting right there at the top of the standings. They got a big conference game Thursday night. Got Reed State, who's kind of the newer program, second year, but that we're right down the highway from each other. So it's turned into a little friendly rivalry, and great chance to start the 2025 conference season with those guys Thursday night. And then Coach Armstrong also, they're undefeated, tied for first in conference. She's there. A lot of that team's back from last year's run, and she's brought some new kids in that have added value to the program, and we're excited about their season again. As they come off the defending ACC and South District champions.
As a matter of fact, I mentioned to Mandy, and last year's squad obviously very good. They win the district and advance on towards the district championship. But I think this year's squad may be a better team than last year's for her.
I think they're more versatile. I think they're still trying to find their chemistry a little bit. They played really well there before Christmas. That was a great game. We've had, funny, we have the coastal teams. We have Coastal North and South, and we have a friendly rivalry. All of our coaches, peers. They have great relationships, but it is kind of cool when we get to play each other. And so they've both played a home and home in the non-conference, and both the women's games went in overtime, and both the home team won both overtime games. So that's been a really cool little rivalry there. And then the games between the men's games have been really, really intense and great games also. So it's been fun. That's the cool thing. Everybody's like, oh, you play each other. Well, we got good people in our organization that, we all, we understand and respect each other. And it's fun when they get a chance to compete against each other. And except for me, because, now I don't know whether to cheer for everybody or not cheer for anybody.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing where I'm kind of stuck on so I just kind of try to do the best I can to blend on those games.
To be neutral.
Yes.
Baseball, softball coming up at the end of the month. So we've got that time of the year where we're blending sports. And interesting concept where Coastal North is concerned, because Coach Griffin is calling it a career at the end of the year. Isn't it a little unusual to blend coaches, which I like it? I mean, to me, it kind of smooths that transition. But isn't that kind of an unusual concept?
It is. But that was something that, Dr. Milner, our president, really thought that would be the best path for us to move forward, to keep continuity with our organization. Bruton baseball has gone, those kids and that program they've been dealt a lot of adversity over the last few years, there we had the consolidation and, the changeover, and then we had Coach Blevins and his passing, and it was just awful. And those kids went through that. And then we had an interim coach. Then we had another coach for one semester. And then Coach Griffin, came back to really an opportunity to give back to the program that he helped build, help build. And so, we didn't want to lose that momentum, especially coming off the championship season last year. And we feel like we've got another solid team in place in Bruton this year. So the worst thing that could happen is, Coach Griffin retired at the end of the year, and then we go through a 2-month coaching search, and then you got players that may not want to come back or leave, and you have no continuity. And then the recruiting cycle, how can you recruit when you don't have a head coach that's going to be there? So this was a win-win for us. Right now, Coach Matt Collins is our new head, going to be the head coach after the season, and he's been dynamic, hitting the ground running and recruiting hard. And he and Coach Griffin are the coaches there this year. He's the assistant. Coach Griffin's the head coach, and basically he's the associate head coach. They are working hand in hand. Coach Griffin's letting Coach Collins basically make all the decisions about the future of the program, anything he wants to do, and then they're collaborating on how to be the best program they can be this year.
Going over to baseball in Coastal South, you've got Coach in his second year now there at Coastal South, and was right in the thick of things, about a couple of weeks out at the end of the season last year. So he's kind of already built up this expectation, this level of expectation for Coastal South.
Yeah, J.D. Pruitt has done a great job. Last year, he took over a program there about a month before school started. That was kind of, we had a lot of our coach the year before knew before the end of the year that he wasn't going to be back. And that's kind of what we learned from, I'll be honest with you. We went through that situation. By the time we had someone hired, there was a 3 or 4 month gap. And it really, Coach Pruitt came in last year, and it was, we were trying to put a team together really fast. And they had a good year. I mean, they overachieved, in my opinion. They were in the top 2 of the conference for probably 3/4 of the conference season. Ended up finishing, I don't know, 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere in there, and made the tournament, and then lost 2 one-run games to the 2 teams that were in the finals, and beat the number 2 seed on the first day, Snead State, that had been a perennial powerhouse. So I think he got some people's attention last year. So I'm sure they'll be coming after him. He won't be underestimated this year. So they'll probably get everybody's best bullet, and they need to be prepared. But I'm betting on them, and they've got a good looking group. They're young, 33 freshmen, but as I said, young doesn't mean anything in junior college. You got to get ready to play. Those guys you're going to have to count on those guys to win, and that's not going to be an excuse. And he knows that, and I know they're not going to make one. They're going to go out and get ready to play, and we're excited about that program.
Going over to softball, Coastal South. Let's start there. Coach Mallory Radwich, to me, has got one of the premier JUCO facilities, and she's put together one of the premier JUCO softball programs.
We will have one of the premier JUCO facilities in about a year. When we get our indoor facility built here in Bay Minette with their stadium and all that's nice, but what we're about to do with the indoor baseball, softball, and locker rooms and all that's going to be something that if you're a student athlete and are interested in coming to play baseball and softball, you want to check this out. This is an opportunity you don't want to miss. This is, just from a player development standpoint, the things we'll have in there, and then the nice facilities to be able to work out of and maximize the resources to be successful. But Coach Radwich doesn't need any help. I mean, she's awesome. I mean, they've won. Last year they finished second place in the conference 3 years in a row. Before that, they were conference champions. They were runner up in the tournament the year before that. She's got I really liked her team this fall. Good group of kids. They play well together. So I'm excited about their 2025 season coming up. And I know they are as well.
And speaking of renovations, in my conversation with Dr. Milner, suggested there have been some improvements too at Coastal North in the softball facility there.
Absolutely. Every facility has had some version of an upgrade, and there are some that are still in the works. But we've gone in and done some things there with the softball facility, the dugouts, replaced all the boards and painted and lighting, and same thing to the cages. And we've got our fields are in great shape. We just took on a new company that's managing our turf management. And they're doing a great job. Max Siebert out of Pensacola has done a great job. Our fields look like major league fields right now, and he's the reason for that. And he's actually an alumni, former coach at Bruton, and so it's kind of cool that we have a guy like that who's also a high level scout with the San Diego Padres at the major league level. So it's kind of cool that those things happen there. But we're the Bruton softball. I mean, the Monroeville softball. They came off a disappointing year last year after a run of 7, 8, 9, 10 years in a row of being in the tournament. That's going to happen over the course of time. Sometimes it's just not going to work. But they had a really nice fall. They got better every week as the fall went on, and Coach Childress is does a great job. She's been in coaching 25 years or more, and she knows how to win and knows what it takes to be successful. So we're proud of what we have there and excited about their season coming up also.
We've got 90 seconds, actually about 60 seconds. So talk about the other sports that start this spring.
All right, we've got Monroeville tennis, men's and women's tennis, and they're in their second year. I think we're excited about the improvements from year 1 to year 2. They had a nice fall, and they're definitely better. We've already had our first sophomore sign a scholarship, and that's Craig Blevins, who's Daryl Blevins' son, who's actually a member of our Monroeville tennis team, which is cool. He signed a scholarship to go on and continue his career and play college tennis at Blue Mountain College, and we're excited about that. And Coach Cowrie Allen, they've been to the national tournament the last 2 years and have fared well, and we're excited about I think they're better this year, so we're hopefully can have a chance to get over that hump for a state championship. And then we have men's and women's golf in Bruton. We're hosting our first golf tournament this spring in Bruton, and that's going to be a really cool thing for that community and that program. And then Lee Huggins down in Bay Minette, the golf program is back, and they're getting ready to go, and we're excited about this spring. So it's upon us. We have all of our sports rocking and rolling right now, and it's a busy next few months, but we embrace it and are excited about all the things we have going here at Coastal.
Coach, you and I will talk again soon. Great to have you as our halftime guest.
Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate all you do for Coastal Alabama, and go Yotes.